All right, guys, Siemens here. I've been super fortunate to film out of and photograph a bunch of different kayaks in the Old Town lineup, and this is the newest one. This one just dropped last season, and I'm excited to finally get my hands on it. It's new, it's a hybrid. You've seen, you know, the autopilot, the power drive versions. You've seen the pedal versions. Obviously, they have the paddle versions, but now it's the ePDL Plus, which is kind of the hybrid of motorized and the pedal. Basically like an e-bike. E-bikes have gotten so popular. I love my e-bike, so I can only imagine this is gonna be amazing on the water. But the plan for today is I need to get this tournament ready. I'm fishing my first kayak tournament out of this on Sunday. We're headed to Lac du Bonny for the Central Canada Kayak Tour. Didn't think I'd be fishing kayak tournaments this year, but we're gonna give it a shot. It'll be something fun. They're one-day tournaments. But anyways, I've never fished out of this thing. I just got it wet for the first time, but I am gonna dunk this in, show you guys, you know, first impressions on it, because it's a beast of a kayak. The chassis of it alone, it's a 132 big water, 13-foot 2-inch big water. This is the same kayak we took to Florida last year and did some tarpon fishing out of, so it's good for big water, good for big fish, but it's obviously got that different power system to it. So anyways, we're gonna do a quick little walkthrough, and then I think we'll get this in the water, see how fast it goes, play around with some of the different settings, give you my first thoughts, and then we're gonna rig it up. We're gonna rig the transducer pole, the live scope, get some fishing rods in here, and maybe try to catch some fish, maybe even drill some holes in the front and put my tripod on. So let's start at the back of the kayak over here. You've got the rudder, which you need to steer, so there's a little elastic there that holds it down. But basically you can grab this little lever on the side and turn it, or you can just drop it down by hand. It's got a cable system there that obviously you keep up stowed while transporting. It's got 4 little screws on the back, and that's for some sort of shallow water anchor if you want like I think they have like a mini power pole type deal you can put on there. I've never messed with it, but probably good in certain situations. Got the cargo mesh in the back. You can fit like a big hearth-sided cooler in there. The drain holes, 2 rod holders on the back. Then you've got the chair, which is adjustable. You can, we'll take these straps off the back here, but this is, you know, you could be, I don't know, 6.5 feet tall, and you could have this all the way back depending on where you want from the pedals. And then if you pull those little pins, you can slide it all the way up front if you're a shorter person. But anyways, underneath the chair, there is a latch in here, a little lid which you can lock, and that is where the power is. They have a 36-volt lithium battery inside there, and that's what assists with the pedal. How long does it last? I'm not completely sure, because there's modes where you can rely completely on the motor, you don't have to pedal at all, and then there's modes where from 1 to 5 it will give you some assistance. But anyways, nice and tucked away. I could strap it in as well. I don't really need to at this point, but we'll close that back up. We'll slide the seat back. You've got the steering control for the rudder. See on the back, left and right, and that little knob is the tensioner, so you can crank that down so it doesn't slide on its own and it kind of holds its place. You've got your handles there. That's often where I run ratchet straps through when strapping it down. You'll notice on this kayak, it's got a bit of a different track system. A lot of kayaks, you've got those little, whatever you want to call them, T-tracks along the side. What I like about this is it's very accessible, very easy to get at. Because of this big water, it's got the higher sides. So for rigging, it's really easy to get at. You can see I already popped a couple holes in there to make it easier when you rig the electronics later. You've got the mesh on the side. This is obviously where the pedal system goes in. And then in the front, you've got more cargo. You could put a dry bag in there, whatever, food, clothing, anything extra you need, safety kit, all that stuff in the nose. And it all stores really good. Paddle holder on the side, and then one more rod holder, and this is your kill cord, which you should be wearing because these kayaks can get away on you, and that's no good for anybody. So we're gonna get this thing in the water. We're gonna put the ePDL system on the big water, and we'll go take it for a rip. We'll play with some of the different settings. There's manual setting, there's the assisted setting, power assist, and then there's a full-on cruise control, which it just does all the work for you. So yeah, we'll give it the full run through. All right, here is the ePDL drive. What I do notice right off the start, it's significantly heavier than the normal drive system, obviously because there's a motor inside of it. Yeah, it feels robust. And the beauty of this system, I think, is that your battery dies, you can still pedal. And if you run out of pedaling juice, well, hopefully you've still got some battery juice. So it gives you a good safety, a good backup as well, because there's times where I've killed my battery and you paddle, which is fine. Let's get this thing rigged up. Okay, so it's gonna drop right in here. Okay, we'll turn both of these into the lock position. Now we will drop the actual motor, and got to make sure the prop is lined up. That mechanism just pops off, then you drop it down, and now we are locked in just like that. The last piece you need to do is you need to hook up the battery on the back. All right, we are in. We're gonna untie, we're gonna turn this baby on, There's not too many buttons, so I think I can figure it out pretty easily. There's a QR code down there too, so I'm assuming if you scan that, that'll get you dialed in. But holding the power button for a couple seconds, Old Town logo popped up. You're responsible for the safe and prudent operation of your vessel. I think we're good. We will drop the rudder in on the back, so we have some steering. Boom, we will push off. We'll do some speed tests. I'll pull my phone out and see what sort of speeds we're getting. Whoa, stop messaging me. We're gonna first see what sort of speed we can get pedaling only. You can see with my left hand here, I'm able to steer pretty easily. This is a 13 footer. So this is the biggest kayak I fished out of. Let's see what sort of speed we can get. Feel the burn. 5.5, 5.4 miles an hour. Turns pretty sharp. This feels like a pretty beefy kayak on the water. All right, now we will try bumping it up a little bit. We're at 0. Let's bump it up to level 3 and we'll start pedaling. And I think it takes a bit to get going with your feet. No, it's already assisting just like that. Okay, so we've got her set to level 5. If I pedal hard, obviously it uses a lot less battery consumption. When I let off and just barely move it, that's where it really relies on the battery. But same sort of 5.5 miles per hour. This thing tears. So what I'm noticing, we'll bump it up to 5 again on the assist, and I can give it like 1 or 2 kicks, and I feel I can hear the motor kicking in and feel it, and now I stop, and it just gives me a push. So I think there's gonna be some good functionality to when I'm fishing. Let's say I'm fishing into the wind and I just wanna give it like a push or 2, and then that motor gives me a nudge. So anyways, there's gonna be ways that I'm gonna use how to fish with this. Obviously, you figure out whatever. If you need to anchor, you anchor in a situation. If you're able to backpedal, you backpedal. If you wanna give yourself a little nudge, give yourself 2 kicks, you can feel that motor kick in. I think the last thing we have to try is the cruise control, and then we're gonna rig this baby up, drill some holes, hopefully not make too many mistakes, and then christen this with a fish. That's all that's left. All right, we are putting on the cruise control. So now I think you start pedaling to ramp it up, and once it starts flashing cruise, you don't even have to pedal anymore. Right now, got my feet up, and we are cruising. What sort of speed we got? This is ripping. Like 5.5 miles an hour again. Slows down a bit on the corners. We're down to like 4 miles an hour. This is the quickest way you're gonna burn your battery. Into the wind, right around 4 miles an hour. Like any battery, if you have it on 5 and you're not pedaling at all, that's the quickest way. I think you kill it in 3 hours, it says. If you're doing the pedal assist and you got it on 1 or 2, you're not gonna kill the battery in a day, but obviously there's so many circumstances. But this is pretty easy. I think your 5 is good for getting to the spot. 1 or 2 if you're doing some trolling. But, all right. We're with the wind. See what sort of top speed we can hit here. Right around 5 miles an hour again, but this is sweet. Way faster than you're ever gonna troll. This will get you to a spot in a hurry. This is me barely pedaling and I'm on 5 and I'm just ripping. Now when I go backwards, boom, it's on 0. And now I can reverse right to the dock like it's no problem. I don't know how that gearing works in there, but that's pretty slick. All right, so first impressions, this thing is fast. I still need to figure out the best usage of, what mode to use when. You never want to burn out the battery. Don't really want to bring a second battery along either, but don't really know until you use it. But anyways, we're gonna pull the pedal drive out and we're gonna pull this baby up on the dock and we're gonna start drilling some holes in it. And hopefully it still floats at the end. Just like that. The drive comes out. And then rather than trying to lift it on the side, what I like to do is just get the nose started first and slide it on. Like that. Then you can just pull the back end over. All right, first we're gonna mount this heavy duty docking bracket. I popped a couple holes already in there. Like I said, I love how accessible this track is to get at. If you wanted it even more robust, you could swap it out for a metal one, I guess. And I already checked this before for the clearance, so I can still pedal. That's a big thing. You don't wanna mount it on and figure out you can't pedal around it. And this is kind of an interesting contraption. Something like this will probably come to market eventually, but my friend Jason Young has been working on a kayak mount. So drilled some holes over here. All right, we got the docking plate for the HD shuttle. We got the ram mount holder thing for the HD pole. And next, what people think I'm crazy for doing is we're putting a very expensive camera on the nose of my kayak because I'm that confident that I will not tip it. It's tough to always bring a camera guy along when you're filming the kayak stuff. So we're putting a tripod in the nose. Like I've said before, you are more likely to fall to the kayak than tip it. Unless you try to tip it, you're not gonna tip it. But last step, put a tripod on the front for the A7S III. And the cool thing about this tripod is it's got little holes in the feet. That's how I rig it up. Just drilling holes in a brand new kayak. Drill twice, measure once. All right, that's pretty solid. It is rock solid. And I guess all that's left is to put everything on here and go fishing. All right, this is what we're rocking for electronics. This is that HD shuttle I was using last time. We got the GPS map 8610. This is a great unit, but I basically use it because of the HDMI recording. If you're doing like a little bit of screen recording and you want to save some money, the EchoMap Ultra 2, the new ones they just came out with, they have screen recording that can link to your phone. So if you just want to do like a bit of screen recording, that one will fit the bill for most people. Inside, we got a 50 amp hour Norsk lithium, a big boy battery. We're gonna drop it in the dock and we are gonna get fishing eventually. Just want to break it in, make sure it's tournament ready. Oh, pushing off. We're gonna rig up an Indestructo bug on a football jig. We're gonna catch a pike or a bass or a perch, crappie. Crank her up to 5. Here we go. Let's get her rocking. Woo-hoo-hoo! Loving my new pole setup. Doesn't bend under fast speeds, which is deadly. Now we're on full cruise control. I like the option. I do like it. You get tired, you want to take a little break. It's pretty sweet. I just take my feet off and I'm still cruising. Watch this, I just pedal backwards, boom. And we're kicked out. The fish on the bottom there. May as well take a cast of that. Just smoke the Cabra. I think it's cool, I can just give it like 2 pedals. And the motor kicks in and just gives you a little jolt. We're gonna slide shallow. We're gonna see what we can find. Oh, there's a fish. 50 feet straight ahead. Looks like there might be some shallow fish too. Oof, I don't know. We're using the 7-1 Ned rod, the Tatula Elite. And right now it's nice. Don't really have to worry about yacht control too much. Oh, that felt fishy. Good hook set shot though, am I right? Water's warm, 53.4, 53.7. The bass should be shallow. Oh, too busy singing. Oh no, come on. I think there might be a fish falling there, I'm not sure. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna go a little further over there. Instead of me casting far, get a little more on top of the fish. But that's what I'm rocking. Ooh, that looks like a fish in there. It was! It looked like one and it was one. Ooh, it's pulling good. First fish in the ePDL, and it's a nice smallmouth bass. Getting tournament ready. There you go. 2.5 pounder to kick it off, but knocking the dust off, making sure the yak works, and I would say it does. All right, well, we broke the ice. It's crazy, I just give it 1 kick. You can hear the motor kick in. You know, I will say when kayaks get this big, I feel like that 10-footer is kind of the sweet spot for unloading it, loading it by yourself into the bed of a truck. When you get this big, you probably want to get a trailer for it or the bed extender. I mean, you can still make it work, but there's a fish, 2 fish, 3 fish. Oh, they're all right in front of me. We'll see if they're bass or what they are. Ooh, I just dropped right on them. It looked like it nosed down like a bass, but I don't know for sure. I'll let myself drift. I don't want to pedal and potentially spook them, but there are fish kind of all over here. Got him right under the boat. Oh my gosh. That was a tough spot, but this is definitely a bass. Well, electronics are working, pedals working, rods working. My reflexes aren't too bad this morning. I ain't gonna win the big tournament next week, but happy with the stability. I feel very confident with the live scope and the camera on here. We'll catch a couple more just for good measure before we head back. Oh, he went down for my bait. Staring at it. He's following it. Oh, that fish chowed it. Chowed it. That is not a bass. Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, walleye season is not open yet, so we're gonna get this fish back quickly. And you will notice that bass fishing, you end up getting into some pretty nice walleyes. All right, I'm putting her back. All right, well, I thought they were mostly bass there, but apparently there's a walleye. It felt good when it thumped it. Come on. Ooh, wrong species. All right, goodbye, buddy. All right, one more bass. We're gonna call it. Ooh, I feel like when I pedal more, like the battery's barely being used right now, 5 miles an hour. Oh, we're going cruise control. Oh, yeah. All right, so watch this. I'm in cruise control right now. If I pedal backwards, now I kicked it out into 0. So now I'm on normal mode. If I press plus or minus, that's my assist right there. You can hear the assist kick in, and on the bottom you can see the consumption. So when I'm barely pedaling, it's gonna be more on the consumption side of things. Let's go to 5. It just really shows it there. So now I'm barely pedaling. See the consumption go up. If I start pedaling hard, you'll see the consumption go down. Now, if I press cruise control, I'm gonna stop pedaling, and there we go, just like that. Then if I take it off for cruise, press cruise again, now I'm back on stage 5, so pretty user-friendly. There's a fish, see that? See that, see that, see that? See if we can get dialed in on him. Alex Bassey, 20 feet. Ooh, there might be 2. I think we just dropped very close to him. Ooh, there's a couple. There we go. Bring him home. All right. That is a wrap on our first trip out in the Old Town 132 Big Water ePDL Plus. Yeah, I hope they incorporate this drive system onto their other bodies. Yeah, this thing fishes good, very stable. It's a big boat. You could handle big water with this, hence the name Big Water. It's a cool drive system. I'm curious to test the limits and see how far I can get on a battery if I need to think about bringing a second battery. The testing we did and driving, you know, a little ways out on the lake, it's still at 4 out of 4 bars. It gives you a voltage. We're 40.5 volts right now, but we'll head back to the dock and yeah, that was good.